On Friday, conservative attorney and co-founder of the Lincoln Project, George Conway, appeared on CNN to talk about Donald Trump's ridiculous lawsuits against social media companies here in the United States, Facebook, Twitter, and Google. I believe he's going after Google because obviously they own YouTube, and so he's trying to get all of his little conservatives to rally around him, claiming this big lie, essentially, another big lie that he's telling, that these outlets are somehow prejudiced against conservatives, even though the data shows the opposite. But nevertheless, George Conway, who again is an attorney, weighed in with his thoughts about how this lawsuit is going to go. And in addition to Conway saying that this case is essentially dead on arrival, which is what pretty much everybody else has said, he brought up another point. And this is a point that I do happen to agree with here. Conway says that these tech companies, Twitter, Facebook, and Google, should turn around and sue Donald Trump for suing them. That is something, by the way, that is not uncommon in the legal arena. When you have a frivolous lawsuit filed against you, essentially a lawsuit that even Trump knows, and I know his lawyers have to know, is destined to fail. It's a publicity lawsuit. But these companies, unfortunately, do have to put their legal minds at work drafting a, motion to dismiss, any kind of defense if this thing does proceed, which it probably won't. It's going to file a motion to dismiss, but they still have to put time and effort into it is the point. As frivolous as it is, as stupid as it is, they still have to pay their lawyers to do their jobs to get this suit dismissed. That costs them money. And they should 100%, as George Conway says, sue Donald Trump, sue him personally, and force him to repay any damages that they have incurred as a result of these lawsuits, including the legal fees they had to pay. Donald Trump likes to use lawsuits as a weapon. And in fact, we're actually starting to see this a little more and more on the right. They file these lawsuits. They know they don't really have a case, but they do it to intimidate or, in Trump's case, to either distract us from the ongoing investigations and the recent indictments and to play to his base. Either way, that's not how the legal system works. And if you abuse it, if you're using lawsuits to intimidate people, if you're using it to just gain political points, you can't do that without ramifications. Trust me, these companies already know that, okay? They didn't need George Conway to come out and explain that to them. They don't need me sitting here saying they can do that in order for them to realize, oh, yes, we can. They know it. What George Conway is really doing here is he's issuing a warning, basically, to Donald Trump, letting him know you don't just get away with this, because the companies knew they could sue, countersue, but I don't think Trump's that smart. I don't think he's that legally savvy to understand that he may be opening himself up for financial liability for filing these ridiculously frivolous lawsuits that he knew were going to fail from the beginning, but he did it both as a distraction and to score some political points, and hopefully these companies make him pay for it.